Hi everybody, welcome to BrickVault. My name is Mike. We have mock building on the table and top 10 mocks for this week. Let's get into it.
As every week, guys, you can find all the links to the creations I talk about in this episode in the description of this video below. Starting off with number 10 right here, that is Ennio Mylon with the Empire chess, and that is the ultimate chess set made of Lego. You guys probably know that they were Lego sets made by Lego officially in official boxes, but this one has a bit more depth to it. We have a very nice monumental base with some figures, and even a door looks like an old school museum or very historical building, and on top of that we have two armies facing each other, including the king and the queen. I like how every of those figurines has a nice pedestal to move them around the board, and every single one is fully complete with accessories and outfits, so that makes the entire mock look like some sort of a collectible or even very display-wise set. Even though I'm not a chess player, this one really appeals to me. It would just look excellent along all the other collectibles you may have in your house, and quite possibly surpasses every other Lego set that the company has come up with so far. Pretty amazing so far, and interestingly enough, this builder is not only about chess building or buildings, he also made some cool UCS Star Wars mocks. Moving up to number 9, we have Kui Chou with Moog Sub Fatty, and the name doesn't really tell much, but it is a really cool sound mixing system. I'm not a big sound systems expert, but this seems like a sound synthesizer or some sort of that thing. What strikes me as an amateur is the looks. It doesn't really look like Lego at all if you look just from far away. The only studs visible are the ones at the bottom of the columns for those speakers, and the rest of it is totally groovy looking console. I like how he used wheels for speakers and the subwoofer below. The tiny builds for those headphones and a preamp on the desk are really awesome. Can't really tell it's Lego at all. And I think even the whole keyboard is moving, so you can actually press the keys. They do not, however, press back. That is what I really call excellent modeling for real life items, and the whole thing seriously looks like something a sound producer would love to have as a model on his or her desk. I also recommend checking out the designer's Flickr for his last build that he had called the Lamsin Tempo. This is something really unique. Coming up to number 8, we have Between Brick Walls and their awesome architecture design in the form of Cocoa Jungle Cottage. Now this user has a lot of awesome buildings and great photography using the lighting to show off the interiors, and now they came up with this modern villa in the jungle setting. First thing you see is a really cool patio at the top using some of the garage door pieces for the shade, and overall you can also see a lot of aesthetics going to this build. The large windows at the bottom showing the living room, and the dense but not too crazy jungle around the whole area. We have some excellent use of light to show off the interiors. It does feel like a very nice sunny day outside. You can see the very clean modern interiors design inside. Even the restroom hits the mark with this very simplistic modern design, and I love the whole open area with the living room and the small bedroom. Quite an amazing mock using a lot of really cool techniques for the furniture, for example, inside, and I'm always a big fan of such buildings, especially when the execution is just perfect. They are very dedicated to such builds, so check out their Flickr page to see their previous buildings. But let's move away from the buildings for a second and go to the galaxy far away with number 7, and that is the Snow Patrol by Robert Landmark. The title is not very specific, but of course that is Luke Skywalker and his Tauntaun on Hoth during Empire Strikes Back. The excellent photography is credit to Thomas Westermark, and the build itself is really catching this feel of this creature from Hoth. I love the way its head was built, it very depicts the look in the movie, and the appearance of a brick built look is really excellent, especially the mask covering his face, well, looks exactly like in the movie. The whole creature is of course standing, so that's pretty awesome. Seems like an excellent model to maybe land sometime in our studio, and honestly it's not the only one, because if you check Robert's Flickr page, he is a very accomplished Star Wars UCS scale especially builder. Highlights would be the amazing race speeder, there is Tidus Luga Beast, the amazing X-Wing from Poe, and a number of other vehicles that I'm just drooling over. Check it out if you have not already. More Star Wars with number 6 on the list, that is First Order Lego and his Battlefront 2 Battle of Crait. A biased choice because I really do love this map from the game. Battlefront 2 introduced the Crait map not that long ago, and it's really excellent both graphic wise and gameplay wise. And here we have everything we could ask for in such mock. We have two ski speeders rushing towards the battle with clouds of Crait salt dust behind them. I like the tiny build for both of them. By the way, the whole texture of the planet surface is really well built with a lot of clever usage of white bricks. Then we have some cannons and defenses along with a trench that has some really nice gribbling inside, and on the left left side we of course have the AT-M6 Walker, and I do like this redesign. Looks a bit different than the official set, much better scaled to this whole scene, and also you can see the red salty rocks that the planet is built from underneath his legs. Overall a very dynamic and cool looking scene, made to the utmost detail. You can even spot a small crystal fox right to the edge of the MOC. The builder First Order LEGO is pretty experienced in Star Wars vignettes and displays, and if you like this style you should definitely check out his Flickr page. Alright, but after this journey to space we are back to the medieval ages, and I'm very happy to show off this MOC because it comes from a fresh builder that's first time on Flickr, and what an entry that is. This is Ralph Langer with his fantasy medieval-like house. So yep, there is no specific name to this MOC, but the whole display looks amazing, especially the word fantasy in the name. I think it does depict the look of it. You can see those walls and buildings are kind of out of shape, I mean they are not very straight, and this is what strikes me the most, to achieve the curvy look with Lego bricks. I love how irregular this is. The whole ground level is filled with different colors of dirt. So many techniques and bricks used here, I can't even imagine how much time it took. We have an amazing gate followed by really cool buildings, and the whole texture on the walls is just astonishing. Plus details such as windows, wooden bars, whatnot, and 3 really amazing trees on the sides of this MOC. If Ralph really is a beginning builder and states that it is his first MOC ever, I see a very bright future in front of this guy. Some really excellent entry, and I really recommend to check out his Flickr page to give him some love. And I'm looking forward to following your journey of building Lego MOCs. Alright, number 4, and back in time again. That is builder Redfern 1950s, and I have 2 builds from him for you today. Those are both vintage trucks, the 1950s Co tow truck and the 1930s Airflow petrol tanker. I really do have a weak spot for vintage trucks and American classic cars, and his style of building is really appealing to me. First, the tow truck has some really cool angles like those 50s trucks. The whole build for the tow cable is really awesome with the chain, and I think it does actually work. I just assume from the look of the build. The whole black color is really eye-catching, especially the front with the massive grille and the opening hood. Those were some great times for motor companies, having like no limits in how to design those cars, and this truck is definitely an example of that. The next one here, the 1930s Airflow petrol tanker, is a bit older design. I love the Texaco marking, really classic on the side, and this thing has even more excellent curves all over the body and in the front of the truck. I love the combination of gold and red colors all along. There's the opening for the hose in the back and an opening for the hood and the engine in the front, and even such details as pump controls on the side panel. There is some very good usage of the Lego slopes to achieve this curvy looks, and overall it does have this Redfern's touch in his very unique style. I really followed this builder for a while, and he never ceases to amaze. Of course, make sure to go to his Flickr page to check out some really unique forms of building. Moving into the top 3, I have reserved the number 3 spot for something quite unusual. That is Technian 7 with his Kalamanthi creature, or as he describes, the protector of Koto's deep jungle. That is a technique frog, basically, but the scale is pretty enormous. First, I love the head. The jaw looks really excellent with some fire or just poisonous tongue inside. The eyes are looking pretty awesome with the transparent red brick, and those hoses making the shape of the head just work excellent. Moving towards the body, we have some cool technical details there, with a lot of bionicle and technic pieces at the same time, I think, that mixed in this color combo of orange and black just produce an amazing effect. The frog's feet are also looking great with those ball joints. Great use of piece to show the fingers of the creature, and of course, thanks to the fact that it's kind of a bionicle build, you can move it around and make different poses with the creature. Love the back as well, and everything here just works so well that it must be one of the most original MOCs of this year so far. And if you are into bionicle style and like those shapes and pieces, this builder should be the one to follow. Number 2 for this week is the touch of nostalgia, that is neoclassic space hangar coming from John Blackford. And this is all the best a classic space Lego theme can offer, with the neo touch that's very popular among the MOC builders nowadays, and boy, this must be one of the coolest things I've seen in this classic theme. The ship parked in the middle is called the LL221, that is an earlier design from John, and I think he basically built the whole hangar around it. We have some ground crews working along the way, some petrol tanks moving here and there, really cool lighting used in the back for those corridors, and the gribbling on the walls is just excellent. Overall texture of the walls is just great, probably the best use of grey I have ever seen. On the left we have the mission control room with this massive inverted windshield that I've seen in so many sets before. I remember this one from the Blacktron Magnetizer, one of my most favorite classic sets when I was a kid. And the whole scene feels so clean and yet so sci-fi that I just really can't stop drooling over it. I also like the fact that he used different costume colors for the minifigures as the ground crew. Kind of reminds me of the color color code from the crews from aircraft carriers, add some excellent photography, and you have yourself some really great storytelling with Lego bricks. When I bumped into this MOC, I almost forgot how many cool things John did so far, and I think we featured a number of them before, but it's a great journey for everyone who is really into classic space and want to see some excellent neo-style building of this popular theme. So what I'm saying is just go to his Flickr page to find out yourself. And after all these cool sci-fi builds for this week, number one has to be something on top of that. This is the UCS Cylon Raider by Davdup. That is a ship from Battlestar Galactica, and this builder, David Duperon, has proven himself already with the amazing Viper, the Colonial Viper UCS MOC, so it was pretty natural for him to add another one to the collection. A bad guy this time, the Cylon Rider looks amazing, one of the really cool looking ships from this classic sci-fi series. A very sinister look. For me it kind of looks like a space jockey from the Aliens universe, but I think this one looks even cooler. The whole eye thingy, the LED light moving in the front, looks like something taken from the kit with David Hasselhoff. The angling and the shapes are pretty well captured, just like the real thing in the show. And on top of that, he has also added, of course, the UCS sticker and some custom LED lighting for more dramatic effect. That is the second entry in what seems to be a series of Battlestar Galactica MOCs from this builder. Most definitely the quality is through the roof, and I will wait for more entries from Davdup to expand this classic sci-fi lore. Alright guys, and that will be a wrap for this week's Top 10 MOCs. I hope you enjoyed my entries for the list this week. And now, as usual, it's time to show off your fan MOC creations that you have sent to our BrickVaultfanmocs Gmail. Thank you so much guys for all your submissions. Remember, if you really have some really high quality MOCs, you can always contact us with pictures for those through our website at brickvault.toys. We are open for cooperations for the best builders out there if you have what it takes. And as always, thank you so much guys for watching. If you enjoyed this video, you can always leave a like and subscribe to our channel right below. We'll see you next time, and now it's time to cue the music and show off your MOCs.